Human pilot crash lands on alien planet. Wakes up to a harem that won't let him leave. Jake Harper gripped the controls of his ship, the Stellar Rogue, as it screamed through the atmosphere of an uncharted planet. Alarms wailed, lights flashed like a damn disco, and the hull rattled hard enough to shake his teeth. "Come on, baby, hold together," he muttered, wrestling with the stick. The planet loomed below, lush, green, and way too close. A malfunction in the NAV system had spat him out of hyperspace right into this mess, and now gravity was calling the shots. With a final, bone-jarring lurch, the ship slammed into the ground, skidding through alien soil before grinding to a halt. Groaning, Jake unbuckled himself and kicked open the cockpit hatch. Pain shot through his ribs, probably cracked, but he was alive. He stumbled out, boots sinking into moss that glowed faintly underfoot. The air smelled sweet, like honey and spice, and towering trees pulsed with bioluminescent veins. "Well, shit," he said, rubbing his neck. "Guess I'm not in Kansas anymore." Before he could figure out his next move, a rustle snapped his head around. Figures emerged from the foliage, tall, lithe, and definitely not human. They were women, or close enough, with skin that shimmered like liquid starlight, shifting from violet to gold in the dim light. Their eyes were huge, glowing softly, and their outfits, barely their strips of fabric, left little to the imagination. Jake blinked, suddenly very aware of his torn flight suit and the sweat plastering his hair to his forehead. Hi there," he said, raising his hands. "Friendly human here. Crash landed. No trouble intended." The leader stepped forward, her skin settling into a deep indigo. She tilted her head, studying him like he was some exotic bug. Then she gestured with a fluid wave, her fingers long and elegant. The others murmured, their voices a melodic hum that sent a shiver down Jake's spine. "Okay, I don't speak glow stick," he said, "but I'll follow. Beats standing here waiting for something to eat me." They led him through the forest to a village carved into a hillside, all smooth curves and glowing stone. More of the alien women gathered, staring at him with a mix of curiosity and something hungrier. No men anywhere, which pinged Jake's radar hard. They ushered him into a dome-like structure, sat him on a cushioned slab, and started fussing over him, dabbing his cuts with a cool, tingling paste and pressing bowls of weird, juicy fruit into his hands. "Thanks, ladies," he said, biting into something that tasted like mango crossed with sin. "Name's Jake. Human. You got a name?" The indigo-skinned leader pointed to herself. "Zara," she said, her voice like a purr. The word rolled off her tongue, and Jake felt his ears heat up. "Zara. Got it. Nice to meet you." He grinned, trying to keep it casual despite the way her gaze lingered. "So, any chance you got a comms tower around here? Need to phone home." Zara didn't answer, just smiled and motioned for him to eat more. The others hovered closer, offering trinkets, shiny stones, woven bands, and brushing against him in ways that weren't exactly accidental. One ran a finger along his arm, her skin flaring bright pink, and giggled. Jake swallowed hard. "Okay, this is either the best rescue ever, or I'm about to be dinner." As the day wore on, the attention ramped up. They danced for him, swaying hips and flashing colors in a display that was equal parts mesmerizing and mortifying. Jake clapped politely, but his gut was twisting. This wasn't just hospitality. It was a full-on seduction blitz, and he was the only target in sight. Night fell, and Zara led him to a chamber that screamed luxury. Soft furs, glowing orbs floating midair, the works. She gestured for him to lie down, her eyes locked on his with an intensity that made his pulse race. "Rest," she said, the first word he understood, though her tone suggested anything but sleep. "Sure, rest." "Great idea," he said, forcing a laugh. She lingered a moment, then slipped out, leaving him alone with his racing thoughts. Jake paced the room, replaying the day. No men, all women. The way they looked at him touched him like he was some prize bull at a fair. A wild, ridiculous thought hit him. They think I'm here to join the party. Like, permanently. He stopped, staring at the door. "No way," he muttered. This is some cultural mix-up, right? They're just friendly. Really, really friendly. But then he remembered Zara's gaze, the possessive edge to it, and the pieces clicked. This wasn't a rescue. It was a recruitment. These glowing goddesses had pegged him as prime harem material, and they weren't planning to let him waltz back to his ship anytime soon. Jake ran a hand through his hair, a grin tugging at his lips despite the panic. Well, damn. Crash on an alien planet and wake up with a harem? That's one hell of a story, if I live to tell it. He glanced at the furs, then back at the door. Whatever came next, he'd have to play it smart, because something told him these ladies weren't big on goodbyes. Jake Harper stood barefoot on the cool, mossy ground of the Lumari village, staring at the towering Crystal of Lumina. It pulsed like a dying star, its light dimming with every flicker. Around him, the glowing women of the tribe shimmered in nervous hues, blues, purples, and greens dancing across their skin like a living aurora. The air buzzed with tension, thick with the scent of alien flora and the faint hum of the crystal itself. Jake scratched his stubbled jaw, feeling more like a fish out of water than a stranded astronaut. "So, this shiny rock powers your whole gig?" he asked, glancing at Zara, the Lumari leader whose sapphire glow seemed to outshine the rest. "Yes," she replied, her voice smooth but edged with worry. "It is our life force. Without it, we fade." Jake let out a low whistle. "No pressure, then? What's wrong with it?" "We do not know," Zara admitted, her eyes tracing the crystal's jagged surface. "Our healers have sung to it, bathed it in starlight. Nothing works." "All right, I'm no space wizard, but I've patched up worse on my ship," Jake said, rolling up his sleeves. "Mind if I take a peek?" The Lumari shifted uneasily, their colors rippling like a disturbed pond. Zara hesitated, then nodded. "If you can help, we would be grateful." "Grateful's good. Let's start there." Jake grinned, ignoring the way her glow brightened when he met her gaze. "Focus, Harper. No time for alien crushes." He circled the crystal, squinting at its luminous facets. Up close, it was a masterpiece. Carvings of swirling patterns etched into its surface, pulsing faintly like a heartbeat. Then he saw it, a hairline crack snaking from a base, so subtle it could have been a trick of the light. "Gotcha," he muttered, pointing. "There's your problem. A crack." Zara leaned in, her shoulder brushing his. "A flaw? The crystal is sacred, perfect." "Not anymore," Jake said. "Something's busted it open." A gasp rippled through the tribe. A tall Lumari with emerald skin stepped forward, her glow flaring with indignation. "Blasphemy! The Crystal of Lumina cannot be broken." "Name's Jake, by the way," he said, unfazed. "And I'm not saying it's trash, just saying it's cracked. Look." The Emerald Woman, Kalia, as Zara later whispered, knelt to inspect it, her face twisted into a scowl. "This is an outrage. Who dares defile our heart?" "Doesn't matter who," Jake cut in. "Matters how we fix it. You want to live, right?" Kalia's glare could have melted steel. "You are an outsider. You know nothing of our ways." "True," Jake shrugged. "But I know a leak when I see one. If this thing's bleeding energy, you're all screwed." "Kalia, please," Zara interjected, her voice firm yet pleading. "He offers aid. He offers ignorance," Kalia spat. "He'll destroy us." Jake raised his hands. "Hey, if I'm wrong, you can toss me back to my ship. But if this crystal dies, you're out of options." "Let me try." A heavy silence fell. The Lumari's colors dulled, their eyes darting between Jake and their leader. Finally, Zara spoke. "Do it, Jake. Please." "Atta girl." He winked, fishing a tube of emergency sealant from his pocket. "This stuff saved my ass in space. Might just save yours too." He knelt by the crack, squeezing the paste into the fissure. It hardened fast, a gray scar against the crystal's glow. For a heartbeat, the light stabilized, brighter, steadier. The Lumari exhaled as one, their skin flaring with hope. "See? Told ya." Jake started, but a deep rumble cut him off. The ground quaked, and the crystal's light spasmed, wild and chaotic. The cracks split wider, spiderwebbing up the surface like fractured glass. "Oh shit," Jake breathed. The tribe erupted in cries, their glows flashing red with panic. Kalia whirled on him, her voice a venomous hiss. "You've cursed us!" "Whoa, hold up!" Jake protested, scrambling back. "I didn't. You touched the sacred heart." Kalia roared. "You've angered it." Zara stepped between them, her glow dimming to a stormy gray. "Kalia, stop. He meant no harm." "Intent doesn't matter," Kalia snapped. "The crystal demands purification, a sacrifice." Jake's stomach lurched. Sacrifice? Like what a goat? Kalia's eyes locked onto him, cold and unyielding. "No. You." "Wait, what?" Jake's voice cracked. "Me? I'm the fix-it guy, not the fall guy." "It is our law," Zara said softly, her gaze dropping. "A life for a life." I am sorry, Jake." "Sorry doesn't cut it," he yelped, backing toward a cluster of glowing vines. "Look, killing me won't fix this thing. It'll just leave you with a dead human and a dead crystal." Kalia sneered. "You think you're worth more than our survival?" "I think I'm worth more alive," Jake shot back. "I spotted the crack when none of you did. Give me another shot. I'll figure this out." The Lumari murmured, uncertain. Zara touched Kalia's arm. "Please. He's right. If he fails again, we'll proceed." "But not yet." Kalia's jaw tightened, but she relented. "One chance, human. Fail, and your blood will cleanse this sin." "No pressure, huh?" Jake muttered, wiping sweat from his brow. He turned back to the crystal, its light now flickering like a strobe. The sealant had failed, big surprise, but maybe the problem wasn't physical. "Okay, think, Harper. If it's not the crack, what's draining it?" Zara hovered close, her warmth distracting. "What are you doing?" "Guessing," he admitted. "On my ship, if the core's off, we realign it. Maybe this thing's out of whack." He scanned the clearing and spotted smaller crystals ringing the main one, their glows uneven. "Those, what are they?" "Focusing stones," Zara said. "They channel the crystal's energy to us." "Bingo." Jake pointed to one, tilted off kilter. "That one's wonky. Maybe they're screwing up the flow." He reached for it, but Kalia's hand clamped his wrist. "Only the priestess touches them." Jake sighed. "Fine, priestess. Who's that?" "Me," Kalia growled, shoving him aside. She straightened the stone, and the main crystal's hum softened, its light steadying for a moment. "Huh, told you." Jake grinned. "Check the others." Reluctantly, Kalia adjusted the rest, each tweak smoothing the crystal's pulse. The tribe's glows brightened, hope flickering anew. But just as Jake dared to relax, a bone-rattling tremor hit. The crystal flared blindingly, then plunged into a dim, sickly glow. A jagged split tore up its side with a sound like breaking ice. Kalia's face drained to a ghostly white. "It's shattering." Zara gripped Jake's arm, her voice trembling. "Jake, what now?" He stared at the fractured crystal, adrenaline surging. "I don't know, but we're not dead yet. We'll fix this together." The Lumari closed in, their colors muted with dread. Jake felt the weight of their survival, and his own crashed down. One wrong move, and he'd be a glowing smear on an alien altar. No pressure at all. The crystal chamber buzzed with an electric hum, its walls draped in shimmering vines that pulsed like a living heartbeat. Jake Harper crouched beside the towering Crystal of Lumina, his flight jacket streaked with glowing goo that smelled suspiciously like cotton candy. Sweat beaded on his forehead as he smeared the sticky paste over a jagged crack, muttering curses under his breath. Around him, the Lumari women floated like a swarm of neon butterflies, their skin shifting colors with every flicker of the crystal's dying light. Zara, their leader, hovered closest, her sapphire glow steady but her eyes darting with worry. "Third time's the charm, right?" Jake quipped, flashing a crooked grin as he wiped his hands on his pants. "Or do I need to sweet-talk this thing into cooperating?" Zara tilted her head, her voice a soft melody. "Charm, human thing, means luck." He winked, ignoring the way her glow flared brighter when he met her gaze. Fingers crossed. She mimicked him, crossing her delicate fingers with a clumsy grace that made him chuckle. "You're catching on quick," he said, and a ripple of warm yellow spread through the tribe, their murmurs buzzing like a cosmic cheer squad. Even Kalia, The grumpy priestess with emerald skin softened her glare, though Jake swore he still saw a flicker of "I could snap you like a twig" in her eyes. He worked in silence for a moment, the weight of their stares pressing down like a spotlight. Back on Earth, he was just another washed-up pilot nursing a beer and a bruised ego. Here, he was the main event, whether he wanted the gig or not. "So, Zura," he said, breaking the quiet, "what's the big deal with this crystal? Why's it got you all in a tizzy?" "It's our heart," she said, her tone reverent, like she was reciting a prayer. "It ties us to the stars, to each other. Without it, we're lost." "Lost how?" Jake pressed, his curiosity piqued. "Our light fades. Our strength. Our connection." Her glow dimmed to a shy pink, and she looked away. "Our ability to love." Jake's eyebrows shot up. "Love? Like candlelit dinners and bad poetry." "Yes," Zara said, her skin flushing a deep, mortified red. "The crystal guides us to mates. Without it, we can't bond." "Oh." Jake swallowed hard, suddenly hyper-aware of the all-female crowd eyeing him like he was the last slice of pizza at a party. "So, no crystal, no alien boyfriends?" She nodded, her gaze locking onto his with a mix of hope and something hotter. "No mates. No future." "Damn," he whistled, leaning back on his heels. "That's brutal. No wonder you're all so clingy." Kalia snorted, folding her arms. "Clingy? You mean desperate?" "I didn't say that." Jake shot back, though the word lingered like a fart in a spacesuit. The Lumari shifted, their colors dulling to a moody gray. Zara stepped closer, her hand brushing his arm, warm and electric. "We're not desperate, Jake," she said, her voice firm. "We're hopeful. You're different. Special." "Special, huh?" He smirked, trying to dodge the compliment. "You mean the only dude who crash-landed here?" Her lips twitched, almost a smile. "Perhaps, but also brave. Clever. Kind." Jake's face heated, and he ducked his head, pretending to focus on the crystal. "Yeah, well, don't get too cozy. I'm still fixing my ship and blasting off this rock." A wave of blue disappointment washed over the tribe, their hums turning mournful. Zara's fingers tightened on his arm, insistent. "But you could stay. Help us. Be with us. With you." Jake's voice cracked, half laughing. "Like all of you?" "Yes," she said, her eyes wide and earnest. "You could be our anchor. Our light. Whoa, pump the brakes." He chuckled nervously, holding up his gooey hands. "I'm flattered, really, but I'm not cut out for the whole space hair vibe. I got a life back home. Buddies. A dog, well, my ex's dog, but I still miss the little bastard." Zara's brow crinkled. "Dog. Oripate. Barks a lot. Choose your boots." He waved it off. "Point is, I can't just ditch everything. Even for this." He gestured at the glowing women, the alien chaos, the whole damn circus. Her glow faded to a muted gray, and she nodded slowly. "Understand. But we need you, Jake. More than you know." Before he could muster a reply, a sharp crack split the air. The crystal jolted, its light spasming like a strobe on steroids. Jake's pace held, for now, but the energy was going haywire. "Shit," he hissed, scrambling for another crack. "Zara, talk to me. What's this thing supposed to do? Maybe if I get the mechanics." "It sings," she said, her voice trembling. "A song of light and life. But now it's broken." "Sings?" Jake tapped the crystal, catching a faint hum, like a melody lost in static. "Maybe it's just off-key, like a guitar." "Guitar?" she echoed, blinking. "Music maker. You pluck it, it vibes." He mimed strumming, and her eyes sparked with recognition. "Yes, we have songs. But the crystal's tune, it's not so easy." "Never is," Jake sighed, scanning the chamber. Smaller crystals dotted the walls, each pulsing out of sync. "Those, what's their deal?" "They resonate," Zara said. "They amplify the big one's song." "Bingo." Jake snapped his fingers. "If they're off, it's like a band with a drunk drummer. Screws everything up." He darted to a wall crystal, its light flickering like a bad bulb. "See? This one's all wobbly." "Wobbly?" Zara's lips quirked. "Crooked. Messed up." He nudged it straight, and its hum steadied, syncing with the main crystal. The Lumari gasped, their colors flaring bright. You fixed it, Zara breathed, her hand flying her mouth. Not yet, Jake said, moving to the next one. Gotta tune the whole orchestra. You in? The tribe erupted into action, their earlier gloom forgotten. They swarmed the walls, tweaking crystals under Jake's barked orders, their laughter bouncing off the vines. It was a glorious mess, half rave, half repair crew, and Jake found himself shoulder to shoulder with Zara, their hands brushing as they wrestled a stubborn crystal into place. "You're incredible, Jake," she said, her glow a warm gold that made his stomach flip. "Just stubborn," he shot back, winking. "Can't leave a job half-assed." Her smile hit him like a solar flare, and for a second, he forgot the crystal, the ship, everything but her. "Maybe you could stick around," she murmured. "Teach us more." "Zara, His words choked off as a tremor rocked the chamber. The main crystal blazed white-hot, then plunged into black. Screams erupted, the Lumari's lights snuffed out like candles in a storm. "Oh, hell," Jake muttered, his pulse hammering. "That's not good." In the dark, Zara's hand found his, her grip fierce. "Jake, what now?" He squeezed back, adrenaline surging. "We keep going. Together." The void swallowed them, but a spark flared in Jake's chest. Hope, or was something stickier. Whatever it was, he'd be damned if it flickered out now. The chamber was a pitch-black tomb, the air thick with the Lumari's panicked hums and the faint, sour tang of fierce sweat, Jake's included. The Crystal of Lumina, once a radiant beacon, now sat dark and cracked, its jagged edges glinting faintly in the glow of the tribe's fading skin. Zara's hand clung to his like a lifeline, her fingers trembling but warm, and Jake could feel the weight of a dozen glowing eyes pinning him as the guy who just tanked their sacred rock. "Great job, Harper." Crash on a planet, charm the locals, then doom them all. "C'était la résumé matériel." "Okay, nobody freak out," he said, his voice steadier than he felt. "We've got this. Just need a plan B. Or C. Hell, I'll take a plan Z if it's on the table." "Plan." Kalia's voice sliced through the dark, sharp as a laser. Her emerald glow flared, painting her scowl in neon. "Your last plan shattered our heart, human. What's next? Torch the ashes." "Hey, I'm batting 2 for 3 here." Jake shot back, jabbing a finger at nothing. "I spotted the crack, tuned your little wall crystals. Give me some credit before you skewer me, all right?" "Credit." Kalia's laugh was a bitter hiss. "You've brought us to ruin." "Enough," Zara snapped, her sapphire light surging as she stepped between them. "Blaming Jake solves nothing. He's still our best chance." "Chance?" Kalia whirled on her. "He's a walking curse. We should have sacrificed him when—" A low, guttural groan rumbled through the chamber, cutting her off. The ground shuddered, and a sickly green pulse flickered from the crystal's core, weak but alive. Jake's gut flipped. Ladies? I think it's waking up. And it doesn't sound happy." The Lumari froze, their colors strobing in chaotic waves. Reds, yellows, purples, like a rave gone wrong. Zara's grip tightened, her voice dropping to a whisper. "It's angry. I feel it. Angry." Jake squinted at the crystal, its green glow spreading like a bad rash. "What? Like it's pissed I poked it. It's a rock, not my ex." "It's alive," Zara said, her eyes wide. "It's always been alive. And now it's rejecting us." "Rejecting you?" Jake's brain scrambled for traction. "Wait, so this thing's got a mind of its own? And it's throwing a tantrum?" Another tremor rocked the floor, harder this time, and a chunk of vine snapped free from the ceiling, crashing inches from Jake's boots. The crystal pulsed faster, its light jagged and erratic, like a heartbeat on a bender. The Lumari's hums turned to wails, their glows dimming as if the life was being sucked out of them. "Shit, it's draining you," Jake yelped, yanking Zara back as her knees buckled. Her skin flickered, gray patches spreading like ink. "Hang on, gorgeous. I'm not losing you to a moody disco ball." Kalia staggered, clutching her chest. "It's taking our light. Our lives." "No kidding." Jake's mind raced, adrenaline pumping like rocket fuel. He'd seen this before, sort of. His ship's core once fritzed out, siphoning power from every system till he rerouted it with a jury-rigged fix. It's not rejecting you, it's starving. That crack's bleeding energy, and it's pulling from you to compensate. Zara blinked up at him, her glow faint. Starving? Yeah, like a vampire with a straw. He scanned the chamber, spotting the wall crystals, still aligned, but their hums were off, discordant. Those resonators, they're not feeding it right. We've got to sing 'em up, give it a proper meal. Kalia snarled, her voice weak but venomous. You'll kill us faster, or save your glowing asses. Jake snapped, hauling Zara to her feet. Trust me, or die whining. Your call. The tribe hesitated, their colors a dull mess of doubt. Then Zara nodded, her grip steadying. Do it, Jake. Please. Atta girl. He grinned, dragging her toward the nearest wall crystal. Let's crank this baby back to life. The ground bucked again, nearly tossing them into the vines. Jake steadied Zara, her warmth seeping through his jacket, and shoved the crystal into place. Its hum sharpened, a clear note cutting through the chaos. One down, he shouted, sprinting to the next. Keep up, ladies. Dance party's not over yet. The Lumari rallied, their movements sluggish but determined. They fanned out, tweaking crystals as Jake barked orders like a drill sergeant on a bender. Higher, Kalia, don't half-ass it. Zara, twist that one left. Good, feel the rhythm. The chamber thrummed, the wall crystals sinking one by one. The main crystal's green glow steadied, then flared, a blinding emerald wave that hit like a punch. Jake shielded his eyes, grinning like a madman. That's it. It's eating again. But the joy was short-lived. A deafening crack split the air, and the crystal's light fractured into shards. Literal shards. Chunks of it exploded outward, razor-sharp and screaming with energy. Jake tackled Zara to the ground as a piece whizzed past, slicing his sleeve and leaving a hot sting on his arm. Holy shit, he yelled, rolling off her. It's blowing up. The Lumari screamed, diving for cover as crystal shrapnel rained down. Kalia took a hit to the shoulder, her glow winking out as she crumpled. The chamber shook, vines snapping, walls cracking, total pandemonium. Jake hauled Zara behind a fallen slab, his heart hammering. Okay, new plan, don't die. It's too much, Zara gasped, her skin a faint flicker. The energy, it's overloading. Overloading. Jake peeked at the crystal, now a jagged stump spitting green lightning. It's not starving anymore. It's gorging. We overclocked the damn thing. A bolt zapped the ground near his foot, and he yelped, dragging Zara back. We've got to shut it down now. Ow, she cried, her voice breaking. Beats me. He scanned the chaos, spotting a cluster of vines tangled around the crystal's base, pulsing like veins. Maybe they're the power lines. Cut him, and it might choke. Zara's eyes widened. That could kill it. Better it than us. Jake lunged, snagging a shard of crystal from the floor. It burned his hand, but he grit his teeth and hacked at the vines. Sparks flew, the hum faltered, and the crystal's light dimmed, then surged back, brighter, angrier. Oh, come on, he roared, slashing harder. A vine snapped, oozing glowing sap, and the crystal shrieked, a sound that clawed at his skull. The ground split beneath him, a fissure yawning wide, and he stumbled, the shards slipping from his grip. Jake! Zara dove after him, her glow nearly gone. She caught his arm, yanking him back as the fissure swallowed the shard. The crystal pulsed once, twice, then erupted in a blinding green flash, hurling them both into the wall. Jake hit hard, stars bursting behind his eyes. The chamber went silent, save for a faint, fading hum. He groaned, blinking through the haze. The crystal was a smoking ruin, its lights snuffed out. The Lumari lay scattered, their glows gone, bodies still. Zara, he croaked, rolling to find her. She was slumped beside him, her skin dull, lifeless gray. No, come on, wake up. He shook her, panic clawing his chest. This wasn't how it ended, not after all that. Jake's breath hitched as he knelt beside Zara, her sapphire glow snuffed out to a dull, lifeless gray. The chamber was a war zone, Vines snapped like whip cracks. Walls groaned under the weight of collapse, and a Lumari lay scattered, their once vibrant skin fading fast. The Crystal of Lumina was a smoking wreck, its jagged stump spitting green sparks like a pissed-off firecracker. Jake's hands shook as he gripped Zara's shoulders, her warmth slipping away. "Come on, gorgeous, don't quit on me now," he rasped, his voice raw. "I didn't crash land on this glow-stick planet just to watch you check out." Around him, the tribe's hums had dwindled to desperate whimpers. Kalia, the Emerald Priestess, slumped against a shattered slab, clutching a gash on her shoulder where crystal shrapnel had struck. Her glow was gone, her glare replaced by a hollow stare. The air reeked of burnt sugar and ozone, thick with the kind of dread that made Jake's ribs ache. Cracked or not, he wasn't sure anymore. All he knew was this: he'd screwed up, big time. His half-assed fixes had turned their sacred rock into a ticking time bomb, and now it was lights out for everyone. "Think, Harper, think," he growled, slamming a fist in a mossy floor. His mind raced, replaying every spacer bar story he'd ever heard. Tales of human tech pulling miracles out of alien shitstorms. Then it hit him, the stellar rogue. His ship, that battered hunk of junk, still had a power core humming in its guts. A fusion cell juiced enough to jumpstart a small moon. If he could hook it to the crystal's remnants, maybe, just maybe, he could jolt these glowing ladies back to life. But there was a catch. A big, ugly one. Draining the core meant kissing his ticket home goodbye. No power, no repairs, no Earth. He'd be stuck here, trading dive bars and shitty coffee for a planet full of alien women who thought he was some cosmic stud. Jake's got twisted. Freedom or heroism? Beer or Zara's smile? Tough call. He glanced down at her, her face slack but still stupidly beautiful, even grayed out. That memory of her laugh, warm, golden, like sunlight through a cockpit window, punched him square in the chest. "Screw it," he muttered, scooping her up. Her body was feather-light, fragile, and he bolted through the chaos, dodging falling debris like a man possessed. "Not today, universe. Not on my watch." The trek to the rogue was a blur of quaking ground and snapping vines. Jake burst through the hatch, laid Zara on the cockpit floor, and whispered, "Stay with me. All right? I got a Hail Mary up my sleeve." Her eyelids fluttered, barely, but it was enough to keep him moving. The engine room was a mess, wires dangling like a drunk spider's web, but the power core glowed steady blue, a smug little bastard daring him to pull the trigger. Jake's hand hovered over the release, sweat stinging his eyes. Last chance, Harper, he told himself. Walk away, fix the ship, and leave these glowy dames to figure it out. Or stay, be the hero, and hope they don't eat you when the lights come back on. Zara's voice echoed in his head. "You're special, Jake, and damn if it didn't tip the scales." With a grunt, he yanked the lever. The core hissed free, the ship's lights winked out, and the silence hit like a slap. Jake hefted the core, its weight sinking into his bones, and ran back, praying he wasn't too late. The chamber was a tomb when he returned, the Lumari's glows snuffed out completely. Kalia stirred weakly, her eyes widening at the core. "What the hell's that?" she croaked. "Plan Z." Jake panted, slamming it down beside the crystal's smoking base. "Stand back or get fried. Your pick." He ripped into the core's casing, fingers flying as he spliced wires to the crystal's jagged edges. Sparks popped, singeing his knuckles, but he kept going, muttering, "Come on, you shiny bitch, take the juice." The core's blue tendrils snaked out, probing the crystal like a curious squid. For a heartbeat, nothing. Then a spark, tiny, defiant, blue meeting green in a swirl that lit the chamber like a cheap nightclub. Jake's heart leapt. "That's it, baby, sing," he coaxed, tweaking the connections. A hum kicked in, low and shaky, building to a roar that rattled his teeth. The crystal shards twitched, then fused, knitting together with a glow that went from sickly green to a blazing gold. Light exploded outward, a warm tidal wave that slammed into the Lumari like a shot of adrenaline. Zara gasped, her skin flaring sapphire as she bolted upright. "Jake, She choked, eyes wide. Hey, Sleeping Beauty. He grinned, relief flooding him so hard he nearly laughed. Miss me? You did it. She breathed, her glow pulsing strong, alive. Around them, the Lumari staggered up, their colors snapping back. Violet, gold, emerald, vibrant as hell. Kalia gaped, her scowl replaced by something like awe. Holy shit, human, she muttered. I was wrong. Damn right you were. Jake shot back, winking. But I'll take thanks over a knife in the back any day. Zara grabbed his arm, her touch electric. Your ship. You can't leave now, can you? He met her gaze, the truth settling in like a stone. Nope. Stranded for good. Hope you've got a spare bunk, or at least some decent booze. Her smile was pure sunlight, melting the ache in his chest. Always, she said, and damn if that didn't sound like a promise. The crystal hummed steady now, its golden light bathing the chamber in a warmth that felt like victory. Jake leaned back, exhausted but buzzing, a cocky grin tugging his lips. Not bad for a crash-landed nobody, huh? Humanity, fuck yeah. The crystal chamber vibrated with a low, ominous hum, the kind that crawled up Jake Harper's spine and made his teeth ache. He stood in the center of the chaos, his flight jacket smeared with glowing sap and his hands still tingling from yanking the stellar rogue's power core free. The Crystal of Lumina towered before him, its golden light pulsing steady after he'd jury-rigged it back to life with the core's blue tendrils snaking into its cracked surface. The Lumari women surrounded him, their skin shimmering in vibrant hues, sapphire, violet, emerald, bathing the chamber in a kaleidoscope of hope. Zara, their leader, pressed close, her glow a warm gold that made Jake's chest tighten in ways he didn't want to unpack right now. All right, folks, Jake said, wiping sweat from his brow with a cocky grin. Looks like we're back in business. Crystal's humming. You're all glowing like a rave, and I'm still in one piece. Call it a win. Zara's smile was pure sunlight, her hand brushing his arm. You've saved us, Jake. Again. Don't jinx it, gorgeous. He winked, though his gut twisted with a nagging itch. Something fell off. The crystal's hum was steady, sure, but too steady, like a bomb ticking down to zero. Before he could voice it, the chamber jolted. A deep, guttural growl erupted from the crystal's core, shaking the walls and sending glowing vines snapping like overcooked spaghetti. The golden light flared, then twisted into a searing white that blinded Jake for a heartbeat. He stumbled back, shielding his eyes. What the hell? The Lumari gasped, their colors flickering from joy to panic. Reds and yellows strobing like warning lights. Zara's grip tightened on his arm, her glow dimming to a nervous blue. Jake, it's changing. No shit, it's changing, he snapped, squinting as the light coalesced into something massive. A towering figure of pure energy, its form shifting like molten glass. Eyes like twin supernovas glared down, and a voice boomed through the chamber, rattling Jake's cracked ribs. Who dares tamper with the heart of Lumina? Jake's jaw dropped. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. The rock's got a bouncer. Zara stepped forward, her voice trembling but defiant. Great Guardian, we... Silence. The Guardian's roar hit like a shockwave, knocking the Lumari to their knees. Jake staggered but stayed upright, his spacer legs too stubborn to buckle. The Guardian's gaze zeroed in on him, burning with ancient fury. You, outsider, your tainted energy profanes the sacred heart. Tainted? Jake bristled, jabbing a finger at the glowing giant. Listen, Sparkles, I just hotwired your ass back to life. A little thanks wouldn't kill you. A bolt of energy zapped the ground near his boots, singeing the moss and making him yelp. Whoa, okay, touchy, he yelped, hopping back. Guess gratitude's not in the manual. The crystal was pure. Now it bears your chaos. For this, you shall all perish. Perish? Jake's stomach plummeted. Hold up, big guy. Let's not go full apocalypse over a little human spice. The Guardian ignored him, raising a massive hand. Energy crackled, forming a sphere of blinding light that pulsed with enough juice to fry the whole damn planet. The Lumari screamed, their glows flaring in terror. Zara threw herself in front of Jake, arms spread wide. No, he saved us. He's one of us now. He is a desecration. His presence corrupts. Corrupts? Jake ducked around Zara, his mind racing. He glanced at the crystal, its golden glow now streaked with blue, his ship's core energy. Hey, Glauzilla, maybe it's not corruption. Maybe it's an upgrade. Ever think of that? The Guardian paused, the sphere wavering. Explain. Jake took a shaky breath, stepping closer despite the heat prickling his skin. Look, your crystal was toast, cracked, leaking dead. I patched it with my ship's fusion core. Human tech. It's not tainted, it's evolved. Hybrid vigor, baby. Like mixing whiskey and cola, better together. A murmur rippled through the Lumari, their colors shifting, curious yellows, hopeful pinks. Zara's glow brightened, her faith in him a lifeline. The Guardian's eyes flickered, processing. Human technology. Unstable. Dangerous. Sure, if you're a stickler for tradition. Jake shrugged, his tone casual despite the sweat dripping down his spine. But chaos is our thing. We thrive on it. Give a chance. Might surprise you. The Guardian's sphere dimmed slightly, but its voice stayed cold. Your words are empty. Prove your worth, or face oblivion. Prove my worth. Jake's eyebrows shot up. What, like a cosmic talent show? Fine, bring it on. I've dodged worse than a pissed-off light bulb. The Guardian's form shimmered, and the chamber warped. Vines retracted, revealing a jagged path of glowing platforms hovering over a bottomless abyss. Cross the void. Reach the heart. Only then will I judge your soul. Jake peered over the edge, whistling at the endless drop. Great. Alien parkour. My favorite. Zara grabbed his hand, her touch sparking warmth. Jake, you don't have to. Yeah, I do, he says, squeezing back. Can't let this oversized nightlight win. Besides, I've got a rep to uphold. Her smile was faint but fierce. Be careful. Always am, he lied, flashing a grin. He stepped onto the first platform, the energy buzzing under his boots. It held barely. All right, let's dance. The platforms shifted like a drunk architect's fever dream. Some sank, others flared with energy bolts that sizzled the air. Jake dodged, leapt, and rolled, his spacer reflexes kicking into overdrive. A bolt grazed his shoulder, searing pain lancing through him, but he gritted his teeth and pushed on. Halfway across, a platform crumbled mid-jump, and he lunged for the next, fingers scrabbling on the edge. Zara's gasp echoed behind him, but he hauled himself up, panting. Close one, he wheezed, wiping blood from a cut on his cheek. The Guardian watched, its face unreadable. You are tenacious for a fleshling. Flattery's nice, but I'd settle for solid ground. Jake quipped, legs shaking as he eyed the last two platforms. He timed his jump, landing hard on the penultimate one. It wobbled, energy crackling like a live wire. Oh, come on. The platform exploded, hurling him skyward. Time slowed, the abyss yawning below, and Jake's life flashed. Bad calls, worse hangovers, and Zara's damn smile. Not like this, he thought, twisting midair. He flung himself toward the final platform, fingers brushing the edge, then slipping on the slick surface. Shit. Jake, hold on. Zara's voice cut through the panic. Her glow flared bright, hands weaving the air, and a vine snapped free from the wall, lassoing his wrist and yanking him up. He scrambled onto the platform, heart pounding like a jackhammer. Nice save, babe, he gasped, flashing her a thumbs up. The Guardian's eyes narrowed. You cheat. Teamwork, Jake corrected, standing tall despite the tremble in his knees. Humans don't solo this shit. We lift each other up. A long silence stretched, the Guardian's gaze boring into him like a laser. Then slowly it nodded. Perhaps your kind has merit in cooperation. Jake exhaled, relief hitting like a shot of whiskey. So we good? Neues meeting. One final test. The Guardian gestured, and the crystal's core split open, revealing a pulsing orb of light. Gold and blue swirling together, warm and terrifying. Touch the heart. If your intent is pure, IT will accept you. If not, boom. Jake guessed, eyeing the orb. Annihilation. Cool, cool. He stepped forward, the orb's heat licking his skin. Zara's voice whispered in his head, "You're special, Jake." And he squared his shoulders. "All right, Shiny. Let's see what you've got." He plunged his hand in, and the world detonated in light. Pain screamed through him, every nerve frying, but he held on, teeth clenched. Visions flooded his skull. Ancient wars, Lumari songs, and humans? Wait, what? He saw figures in crude ships, forging the crystal eons ago, a gift to this glowing tribe. The truth slammed him. His ancestors had been here. The light faded, and Jake staggered back, gasping. The Guardian's voice softened, almost reverent. "You have seen the truth." Jake blinked, mind reeling. The crystal, humans made it? Ancient space hippies, or some shit? Your kind crafted the heart, a bond long forgotten. Your arrival was fated. Fated. Jake's laugh was shaky. "So I'm not just a crash-landed screw-up. I'm a chosen one, a bridge between worlds." The Lumari gasped, their glows flaring in awe. Zara rushed to him, her eyes shining. "Jake, you're part of us. Always were." He met her gaze, a grin tugging his lips. "Guess I'm stuck with you, huh?" "Always," she echoed, her glow wrapping him like a vow. The Guardian dissolved, its energy melting back into the crystal, now pulsing with a perfect harmony of gold and blue. The chamber steadied, vines blooming anew, and the Lumari's hums rose in a triumphant chorus. Jake pulled Zara close, his arm around her waist. "So, about that spare bunk." She laughed, her light merging with his in a way that felt like home. "Welcome back, Jake." He let out a low whistle, hands on his hips, his torn flight jacket still reeking of alien sap and burnt pride. "Well, damn. Guess I don't suck at this hero gig after all." Zara's laugh was soft but electric, her hand brushing his arm in a way that made his ears burn. "You've done more than fix it, Jake. You've reborn it." "Reborn, huh?" He flashed a cocky grin, scratching his stubbled jaw. "Sounds fancy. I was just aiming for not dead." The Lumari erupted into a chorus of melodic hums, their colors swirling in a dazzling dance that lit the chamber like a cosmic rave. Kalia, the emerald-skinned priestess who'd spent half the story glaring at him like he'd pissed in her sacred pool, stepped forward. Her shoulder was still bandaged from the shrapnel hit, but her glow was back, fierce and steady. "Human," she said, her voice softer than Jake expected. "You've proven us wrong. We owe you everything." Jake waved a hand, playing it cool despite the lump in his throat. "Nah, just toss me some of that fruity booze and a bed that doesn't glow. We'll call it square." Zara's glow flared brighter, mischief sparkling in her eyes. "We can do better than that. Tonight, we celebrate you." "Me?" Jake chuckled, but before he could protest, the tribe swept him up in a whirlwind of motion. They dragged him out of the chamber, through the village's winding paths of glowing stone, and into a clearing where the twin moons hung low, bathing everything in silver light. Tables groaned under piles of exotic food, fruits that popped like candy, meats that smelled like sin, and alien instruments kicked up a beat that thumped in his chest. The Lumari danced, hips swaying, colors flashing, and Jake found himself grinning like an idiot as Zara pulled him into the chaos. "You're not half bad at this," he shouted over the music, spinning her until her glow streaked gold around him. "You're not half bad at everything," she shot back, her smile hitting him like a solar flare. "Stay still long enough, and you might learn something." The night blurred into a mess of laughter, food, and way too much touching. Friendly, sure, but Jake wasn't blind to the way the Lumari kept brushing against him, their colors flaring pink and red. By the time the feast hit its peak, he was stuffed, sweaty, and perched on a stone bench with Zara at his side, her warmth seeping through his jacket. The tribe gathered close, their hums quieting as Zara stood, raising a cup that shimmered like liquid starlight. To Jake Harper, she said, her voice clear and strong, "Our bridge, our light, our savior. You've given us back our heart, and more." The Lumari cheered, cups clinking, colors blazing. Jake felt his face heat up, the weight of it all crashing down. He'd stumbled onto this planet a nobody, a washed-up pilot with a busted ship and a smart mouth. Now he was what? A hero? A legend? He stood, clearing his throat, and raised his own cup. "Look, I'm no good at mushy stuff," he said, his grin lopsided. "But crashing here was the best damn mistake I ever made. You took me in, trusted me when I was just some loudmouth human with a sealant tube. We saved this shiny rock together. So here's to you, the Lumari. You're the real deal." The crowd roared, their glows flaring so bright Jake had to squint. Zara's hand slipped into his under the table, her fingers lacing with his, and he squeezed back, caught off guard by how right it felt. As the feast wound down, they slipped away to a quiet ledge overlooking the village, the moons painting the landscape in silver and shadow. Zara leaned against him, her head on his shoulder, her glow soft and steady. "Jake, I don't know how to thank you." He wrapped an arm around her, pulling her close. "You don't have to. Just don't kick me out when I start snoring." She laughed, her light wrapping him tighter. "You gave up your ship, your way home. For us." "Yeah, well," he sighed, staring at the stars. "Home's where you make it, right? And this beats the hell out of dodging galactic Fed patrols for crumbs." Her glow shifted to a shy pink, her eyes locking onto his. "Stay with me, Jake. Be my anchor." He cupped her face, his thumb brushing her cheek, feeling the spark where their worlds met. "Always, Zara. You're stuck with me now." Their kiss was slow and warm, a promise sealed in light and heat, and Jake felt something settle in his chest. Peace, maybe, or just the buzz of alien fruit wine. As they pulled apart, a distant rumble shook the night. The ground trembled, and a shadow sliced across the moons. A massive ship descending, its hull glinting with a too familiar insignia, the Galactic Federation. "Oh, crap," Jake muttered, his grip tightening on Zara's hand. The hatch opened, and a figure in a sleek uniform stepped out, voice booming. "Jake Harper, you're a hard man to find." Zara's glow dimmed, her voice tight. "Jake, who?" "Old friends," he said, standing tall despite the adrenaline spiking his veins. "The kind who don't take no for an answer. But don't worry, I've got this." The officer approached, and Jake grinned, sharp and reckless. He'd found something worth fighting for on this glowing rock, and no Fed goon was taking away. The adventure, it seemed, was just getting started.